Hey YouTube. Alright, I've been sitting here in the zones for both Grubhub and Instacart. I only got one delivery for Instacart. And it took it was almost 2 hours had passed before I even got an order. But that's alright. And as for Grubhub, for the last couple of days it's been slow too. And then after that I'm sitting here and I realize, wait a minute, the reason why it's slow is because number one, it's spring break. So a lot of these kids are on spring break, and as a result, being on spring break, that means the parents are most likely home as well. So if they're home, they're gonna do their own grocery shopping. And as for ordering out, in terms of the lunchtime, they're gonna be either working from home if they're fortunate enough, or they're gonna take their break with their kids and go on spring break. So I was like sitting here and I was wondering, I said, what is so unusual about this time? It's slow, nothing's going on, Then I realized, I said, wait a minute, it's spring break. So that's what it is. Now, I've been sitting here since noon. My block started at noon and it ends at 5. And I got another hour and a half to go before I take an hour break. And then my block starts again from 6 to 9. But to be honest with you, that's what it is. I'm not, I said, shoot. And then another thing I've noticed, even with Grubhub, a lot of people's been dropping their blocks. They've been having all these open blocks, 20-something blocks openings, open shifts. And I said, what's going on? Why everybody just giving up these blocks, noon to 5 and weekends? And I said, spring break. Spring break. That's what it is. So, with come spring break, it also means breaks from deliveries, breaks from taking Uber Eats, most definitely Uber Eats, Grubhub, and then the only people that may, and then when you think about it, let me see what else. Let me see, this is what, April. So if the colleges are on break, they're not going to order food anyway, That's what it is. It's a break. So it comes a time when it's a slow period. It's the weather's getting warm, spring is coming, Easter will be here next week. People will be taking their vacations, and then you have to look at the type of foods that people eat in the summer when it gets hot. Nobody likes to eat heavy foods. Sports wise, yeah, there's baseball season popping up, but but that's what it is. When it gets hot, cool, the weather start getting warmer. At least I know me personally, I don't really eat a lot of heavy foods. So, and then of course, people do a lot of barbecues in the backyard and going on family vacations, family reunions. The kids are home from school during the summer. So, as a result of that, you have to think about the people that you serve, people who are teachers, administrators, they on vacation during the summer, so teachers only get paid once a month. So the way they spread out their pay, depending on if they took it, most of their pay during the months or whatever the case may be. But that's what it is. So I'm just sitting here right now, burning up in this car. I'm in front of the Publix in the parking lot, waiting for some food orders to come through. But that's what it is. I'm sitting here wondering, I said, why is it so dang slow? And then after that, I said, wait a minute. Why I see kids walking around with parents in the, middle of the afternoon? Then I said, oh, that's what it is. Depending on which county you're in, they're on their spring break. Some people on their spring break this week. Some people begin their spring break next week. April, we only got about, another few more weeks? About maybe a month. Then it'd be graduation, and people be packing up, going back home and doing things, and it starts to slow down. I know a lot of people like to think that Uber picks up in the summer. Everybody be going to these summer concerts and all this stuff, and going to festivals and things like that. But to be honest with you, really be honest with you, a lot of people who go to these festivals, especially when it's in neighborhoods, it's walking distance. Ain't nobody, it's too, people ain't gonna be calling no Uber. So I'm sorry to say, it's gonna become far in between to get rides. And for those who just hate Uber pool, you better get used to it. That's why I'm not doing no Uber. Forget that. I'll do my Grubhub, I'll do Instacart, maybe I'll do Uber Eats. But to be honest with you, I'm gonna make me a big announcement in a couple of days, and as a result of that, my time with all this driving and doing deliveries is gonna be very limited after a while. But I have to say that it's been fun doing all these things. Grubhub and Uber was fun in the beginning until they start jacking up with the fares and the rates, and my car ran down to the ground. I don't feel comfortable. I can't drive my car around talk about picking up people, but I've seen some worse cars doing Uber, and they got passengers in the car. So my car still is pretty good condition. But you know what? I have to start looking at the bottom line. The bottom line. Gas prices is going up, I could see. It's like $2.20 something. And trust me, it's gonna be high in the summer. And all this running the air conditioner, it ain't worth it. People driving around talking about, I'm gonna do Uber, I make a lot of money doing Uber, and you gotta go to the hot spots. Man, I got this tracker on here, which Stride, and it tracks the mileage, and I started using it. And boy, let me tell you, if I had to factor in what I get paid and the mileage alone so far, since I've been accurately keeping track of it on the app, I could see I'm not going to make any money this year again. But, last year was different. I didn't do a whole year. I only did a few months. And that's another thing. Don't forget, y'all, taxes are due. So for those who've been working full-time doing Uber and Lyft, and you didn't have any withholdings taken out, it's time to make another estimated tax payment. And it's time to pay the piper. So, and another thing I want to mention to some of y'all, for those who think that you're trying to hide and not report all the